Runners on second and third for the Bulldogs. Bottom of the second.
Well, hello, Paynesville Bulldog baseball fans, and we had a little bit of a late start here, but we're going nonetheless. And right now it's bottom of the second inning, and the Dogs have the lead 3-0. They've been playing very well on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, as Grant Lutter got the start for the Dogs today. And yeah, the first inning they had 3 runs come across, got the bats going right away. Right now we have Orline at the plate, and it looks like a balk was just called in the pitcher. So Zach Schrader.
So now we have nope. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We did have a run score, and that runner was Matthew Leeser.
There's a high pop fly. We'll see if it stays in play. Dan Menard's ranging over, and that one will go out of play just behind the break.
Sam Orline pops that one out of play. Foul ball. The count on Orline is now 1-2. So with that last run, the Bulldogs now lead 4-0.
And we'll go back and do it all again.
I have no partner with me today. In the first game, at least. Either Josiah Walls or Jacob Bertrand will be accompanying me in the second game. And the pitch to Orline there, he takes it to first base. And Schrader is called out at home plate. And to avoid a double play, kind of a wild play there, Orline advanced on to second since the first baseman decided to throw home, and it did pay off for him as he denied Schrader from scoring. So tough break there for the Dogs, as it was a close play, but I would have to agree with the umpire. He was tagged out before he reached the plate.
Well, in the meantime, another...
Number 7, pitcher, Grant Ludwig.
Now Grant Ludwig will come up to the plate.
Nice play by Brandon Osbar with a quick throw to Jared Knudsen at the plate to get the...
Ludwig's first at bat, he drew a walk, and he has scored.
There's a foul ball out of play.
One of the 4 to score. So now there's 2 outs in this bottom of the second inning. Again, the Bulldogs are playing the Benson Braves. Bulldogs got the number 1 seed. The Braves are the 8th seed. This is the first round of the playoffs. If they win the first game, they will advance on to the second round, which is also played today, and that game will be at 3 o'clock. So the count to Ludwig is now 1-1. Bulldogs have racked up 3 hits already. To the Braves 1. Now this pitch is called ball high.
2-1 on Ludwig. He has a runner in second now with 2 out.
So Orline takes a short lead at second. Pitcher looks back at him. Pitcher comes home with the ball, and that's going to be called low ball.
Also 3-1 now on Ludwig.
Gorgeous day today. A little bit on the warm side, but we'll take it since the breeze is pretty low and humidity isn't awful.
There's a high fly ball.
So Grant Ludwig looks like he's going to hit that one out toward left field. That's high in the air. Left fielder gets underneath it and makes the catch to end the inning. So ultimately the Dogs do manage to score another run. They had an opportunity to have another one in Zach Schrader. He was tagged out at home, however. So with 3 runs in the first and 1 run in the second inning, the Dogs now lead it 4-0. Sorry for any windy feedback. The breeze is starting to come in now, it looks like. It feels like. Umpires today are in red tops and gray bottoms. Looks very sharp. Quick rundown for the Bulldogs lineup. As usual, we have Zach Osler behind the plate, Matthew Leeser at third, shortstop is Luke Johnson, second base, Sam Hoffer, first base, Jared Campbell. Ryan Westhead is actually designated hitting for Jared today. Out in right field is Levi Bass. Center field, Sam Orline, and left field, as usual, is Zach Schrader. So starting off on the offensive side of the ball for the Braves this inning is number 14. And Sam is their second baseman.
Line up the pitch. This batter is now.
That'll be a big swing and a miss from Sam.
Braves first time up.
As Ludwig comes with some heat there in the first pitch.
4-0 Bulldogs in the lead. Braves batting the top of the third.
Second pitch coming on, and that's going to be foul, just barely foul, down the third base line. As Matthew Leeser goes and stops and throws it back to the pitcher.
And on deck is Jared Knudsen for the Braves.
This is Sam's first time up to bat today, as the Bulldogs only allowed 4 batters in the first inning and 3 batters last inning. Here's a pitch from Ludwig, and that's going to be low in the dirt for ball number 2. Ludwig has already racked up 3 strikeouts on the day. The fourth pitch of the at-bat is outside for a ball, and that will make the count 2-2.
The
batter asks for time, settles in. Ludwig gets a sign, offers a pitch, and he will hit a short bouncer over to Matthew Leeser. Leeser scoops it up, makes a nice play to first for the first out of the inning. So another batter up and another batter retired.
In the third inning, and Jared Knudsen will head to the plate.
For the Braves, catcher number 5, Jared Knudsen.
So now up to bat for the Braves is number 5, their catcher, Jared Knudsen. Again, it's his first at bat of the game. He is the last batter in their lineup. First pitch to him was a ball. Here's the second pitch, and that's going to be popped up towards right fielder Levi Bass. Levi Bass stands underneath it and gathers the ball into his mitt for the second out of the inning.
Being economic today, he is throwing very few pitches. As the Braves like to see that.
So now leadoff batter for the Braves, Matt Grusin, is going to step up to the plate. And Grant Ludwig has been very, very efficient with his pitches so far today.
He started the game with a single. Pitch to him is going to be
and first pitch to Grusin is low for a ball. Second pitch is kind of a little blooper foul right in front of Jared Campbell. He charges in but was not able to have a play on the ball, so that'll bring the count to 1-1. Getting 2 outs here. We're in the top of the third inning of the first round of the playoffs. Third pitch of the at-bat is going to come soon.
Here's the windup in the pitch.
And that's right back toward Ludwig. Ludwig dives for it, not able to get there. Johnson scoops it up and throws to first with a bullet, and that'll be the third out of the inning as the Dogs let 3 batters come up and let 0 of them reach the bases. So, heading into the bottom of the third inning, the Dogs lead it 4-0. After a hot start again, 3 runs in the first inning, 1 run last inning, looking to keep their foot on the gas pedal, so to speak, and prohibit any type of comeback that the Braves may try to amount later in the game. On the mound for the Braves is Hunter Monger. Their first pitcher of the game was Dan Lenar, and he was basically rocked by the Dogs. He also had a couple walks, so the pitching change was made promptly. And this new pitcher, Hunter Monger, did a nice job last inning, only allowing 1 run. The Dogs have had plenty of base runners so far today. Leading off this inning for the Dogs will be Zach Osendorf. Osendorf struck out at his first at-bat. A rare strikeout that you see from the Dogs.
So ready, as mentioned, Hunter Monger in the pitch for the Braves. Dan Lenar started off.
So Osendorf's going to step up to the plate here, dig in, and get ready for the first pitch of the bottom of the third inning. Luke Johnson will be on deck.
Hunter Monger in the pitch.
And here's the pitch from Monger.
You use your whole body.
And Osendorf tees off on it. That's hit out deep left field, but right to the left fielder, unfortunately, as he only had to move a few steps to get underneath that ball.
And one pitch and one.
So now up to the plate will be Luke Johnson.
Paynesville Bulldog shortstop number 2, Luke Johnson.
And works quickly and does a nice job of that.
As you all know, Luke Johnson is the shortstop for the Dogs, and he awaits the first pitch from Monger. That's going to be inside and low for a ball. Ball 1 in the count. Getting one out here in the bottom of the third inning. Dogs lead it 4-0.
First pitch is low in the dirt. Ball for 1-0 count. Here's the windup by Mondor.
And the second pitch is going to be high, as it squirts all catcher's glove.
2-0 count on the batter. Just a real beautiful day here at Paynesville. Beautiful park, beautiful stands area. Weather is warm.
And next pitch is going to be right down the pipe for a called strike 1, making the count 2-1. And we have a lot of fans here today. That's good to see. As Paynesville's new stadium, well, somewhat new, is a great venue for playoff baseball. And Johnson's going to hit that out to left field, and right fielder, is not able to get there. And he will have a stand-up double, no problem. So we'll see if the Dogs can take advantage of this runner in scoring position as Levi Bass steps up to the plate. Bass has been a great hitter for the Dogs. Utilizes his speed to scratch out a lot of base hits that some guys normally would not get to first base on.
Number 5, right fielder Levi Bass.
So again, Luke Johnson's now on second base. Takes a short lead out there. Pitcher looks at him. Pitcher looks home. Bass awaits.
I believe so.
And that pitch is going to be in the dirt. Bounced about 2 feet in front of the plate, but the catcher did a nice job getting in front of that ball. And if that ball would have passed him, we would have Luke Johnson at third. So Bass is going to foul that one off as it hits the dirt, then hits his leg. Shakes it off though, tough kid.
Bottom of the third inning here, Bulldogs.
So the count is now 1-1 with 1 out here in the bottom of the third.
Braves scoreless so far through the threes.
Looking to add on to their 4-0 lead.
And Hunter Mondor looks back at the runner at second.
And here's the pitch. That's going to be outside and low in the dirt. Another good stop by the catcher.
Stabbing at that one and keeping it in his mitt. So now the count's going to run to 2-1. Part of your family here as well, huh?
So the fourth pitch of the at-bat is coming, and it's high, but Levi was fooled. Got a little greedy there as he kind of took a tomahawk-type swing. So that'll make the count 2-2. Johnson leads at second, no one there to keep him on base. And there's a shot right back at the pitcher. That's going to be up the middle. Shortstop makes a nice play on it, though, and he's called safe. As, like I said earlier, Levi uses his speed to scrape out a hit there. It was a nice play by the shortstop, but Levi beats it out. If he didn't beat it out, then in that case it was definitely a tie goes to the runner. And he does manage to advance Luke Johnson. So now up to bat is DH Ryan Wisted, capable hitter, more than capable of knocking in a run or two here with a shot to the outfield. And there's going to be a steal. So steal by Bass. The catcher throws it back to third, attempting to pick off Luke Johnson, who was caught leaning a bit toward home, but he got back safely.
Now the Bulldogs again have a couple runners on in scoring position.
So with that steal by Levi, the Dogs now have runners on second and third.
More to their lead, 4-0 early on. Bottom of the third.
Ryan Wisted settles in. Here's the pitch, and he's big swing and a miss from Ryan Wisted. As the count is now 1-1, still only 1 out in this inning. Shot to the outfield here will definitely score 2.
Lots of a home run, perhaps. Here's Mondor with the pitch.
And he rips it towards third, and that's going to get down. That's going to get down underneath third baseman's glove as he made a diving attempt at it, and Luke Johnson will score for the Dogs, making the score now 5-0 as they continue to tack on runs.
And that will bring up number 9, who is...
So now with Levi Bass advancing to third on that hit, we have Ryan at first and Levi at third.
Now batting.
And Matthew Leeser
Baseman number
will be
9.
batting now
This weather, it feels like really weather. It feels like, you know,
with a shot at an RBI for sure. We'll see if Ryan steals. The pitcher attempts to pick off Ryan at first. Risky move. Any air throw would have definitely scored Bass there. Ryan takes a good sized lead again. Here's the pitch towards home, and the catcher's going to throw down towards second, and Ryan is out. However, a run does score, so they traded an out for a run, I guess.
Great throw, Jared Knudsen guns him down in plenty of time, but the runner at third will score to make it 6-0 now.
So I don't know if he had that in mind, or if he... I mean, they were pretty desperate for an out, but could have been a mental error. As the Dogs now have 2 in this inning, 6 on the game. To the Benson Braves 0. So Leeser with no one on base now, no opportunity for an RBI anymore. Now waits the third pitch of the at bat with a 1-1 count to him. Here's the third pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a miss from Leeser. Way late, it looked like.
Dig it out of the dirt, but misses, so.
Again, there's a game after this. If the Dogs manage to win this game, they will play the winner of that game at 3 o'clock. So Matthew hits it towards shortstop. Shortstop fields it, throws it to first. Nice throw, nice play. So Matthew's retired, and that'll end the inning as the Dogs score 2 more. And the score is now 6-0 as we head into the top of the 4th. Been a pretty quick game so far.
Feedback produces a clean, renewable, Minnesota-made E85 fuel, the clean air choice to State Bank of Kansas.
As the Montevideo baseball team looks to be heading out to warm up for the next game. Again, the Dogs are the 1 seed in the playoffs here today. Facing the 8th seed Benson Braves, scores 6-0. Very warm day out today. The temperature I have is about 90 degrees. Breeze here and there, but doesn't help too much. Coming from the south. So leading off this inning for the Benson Braves is number 2, their pitcher, Hunter Monger. Again, he did not start the game for the Braves, but he came in relief, and he follows that one out towards the right field berm, and then lands just ahead of some spectators, just above some spectators, nearly taking someone's head off over there. And here's the pitch coming home, and that's going to be called a ball. Looked pretty good. So the count was 1-1 to Hunter Monger. There's a big swing and a miss from Hunter as he got way out ahead of that off-speed pitch from Ludwig. Ludwig working very quickly, pitching from the stretch. And the count was 1-2 as here's the 4th pitch of the at-bat, and that's going to be inside to make the count 2-2 to Monger. Hunter's first at-bat ended up in a strikeout. And now the count is full. First full count of the day for Ludwig, I believe.
Out of luck as well, so the Braves will have to go a little deeper down that pitching tree if they should happen to win this one. 3-2 the count on Mondor. Here's the pitch.
And that pitch is going to be fouled off by Monger as he fights to stay alive.
And that's one of those things, you know, I think talking to most of the coaches are kind of in agreement with it. I think they like this pitching count rule. I think they're in agreement with it.
And the next pitch is going to be a swing and a miss.
Fights off the pitch.
No, we did foul it off.
Foul down towards the third base bed.
So the count remains full as leadoff batter Hunter Monger remains at the plate, and he's going to be walked. First walk of the game by Grant is drawn by Hunter Monger, so he will jog to first. And now to bat is their starting pitcher. He started today, Dan Lennard.
Dan Lennard steps in.
Tall kid. He's going to settle in. Here's the pitch to him, and that's going to be outside for ball 1.
Of course, Ludwig, that makes the catcher Mitch sing when he throws his fastball.
So the count is 1-0.
So Hunter Mondor at first.
See if Ludwig can start pitching strikes here again. And he lobs that one in. That's going to be close. That's just foul by a matter of 5 feet. And that would have been at least a double. Whoever Levi is fast over there, so he would have got there. Ludwig looks for the sign, looks at first, and he will throw to first, keeping Hunter honest over there.
But it might be because of the terrain here. There's kind of a little bit of a hill here on the left, outside the left field, so maybe it's a march down that.
And that pitch is also going to be fouled off again by Dan Lenars.
I don't know, too. I don't think I kind of get a kick out of
That'll make the count 1-2 with that foul ball. Getting 0 outs here. We're in the top of the 4th inning. And that's going to be...
Hold up, he does, unless they appeal. They're going to appeal down to first base. No, he says.
That's going to be a called ball, as he did check his swing at the ball, and the first base umpire said he did not go. So the count is now 2-2.
From the stretch. Ludwig brings it to the plate.
And that ball is hit right back at Ludwig. Ludwig will fire to second and back to first. And that's a double play by the Dogs. Nicely executed as Ludwig had the heads up to fire to second first. And then Luke Johnson completed the double play by firing to first in plenty of time to get Dan Lenars out. So now all of a sudden 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning. And number 23, Will, is at the plate for the Braves. Wasn't able to catch his last name. I believe it was Anderson or something. No, we'll say Will Anderson. So first pitch to Will is a strike. Second pitch is fouled up back, so that'll be also a strike. And the count is now 0-2 to Will with 2 outs here. Nearly desperation time for the Braves as they trail by 6 runs late in the game, and that's going to be a strikeout. Another strikeout by Ludwig. Ludwig's 4th of the game, I believe, 4th or 5th, 1-2.
We'll head to the bottom of the 4th with the Bulldogs on top 6-0.
So now the Dogs, leading 6-0, will have their turn at the plate at the bottom of the 4th inning to try to tack on some more runs, which they've done every inning so far. And we'll see if Hunter Monger can stop the bleeding. And back on the mound is Dan Lenars. So Dan Lenars, who started the game for them, was pulled after the 1st inning. Looked to have some issues with his arm, hurting maybe. And all of a sudden he's back in the game. So we'll see if he can gather himself and pitch a solid inning here for the Braves. Looks like Hunter Monger is back at third base.
Mystery to us, but we control it. And of course, we've got plenty of opinions.
Back on mound number 8, Dan Lenars.
So leading out for the Dogs this inning is Zach Schrader. Schrader reached on his first time with a very nice bunt. He laid down and beat it out with the speed, but was thrown out at the plate.
From the windup, here's the pitch. That's going to be low in the dirt for a ball, 1-0.
And that pitch to him is going to be in the dirt, so the count is now 1-0.
1-0 the count on Schroeder, and here's the.
So we'll see if Zach can punch one out to the outfield here. And that's going to be a called strike to make the count 1-1. Schrader began the year batting over 400.
So 1-1 delivery here from the Lenars,
and that one's going to be fouled off by Schrader. Again, he began the year as hot as a pistol, and he was had the best average. And then just a couple weeks ago, he kind of went into a bit of a slump, but I think he's got his groove back now. And there's a leaning swing and a miss from Schrader as that curveball caught him guessing. So now that'll bring up leadoff batter Sam Hoffer, top of the order.
Second baseman, number 15, Sam Hoffer.
Hoffer's first at bat. He managed to get on base, and then he stole second and scored eventually. And Hoffer not able to beat that one out as he teed off on the first pitch. Again, the Dogs have been very aggressive both on the bases and at the plate this year, not hesitating even on the first pitch in the count. And now Sam Orline will be stepping up to the plate.
Number 1, Sam
Orline's first at bat, he reached on an error by the second baseman. And he's gonna he hesitated for a bunt there, and then he did lay one down, and that was actually tapped off the plate and then foul, but the catcher thought it was in the air, so he dove for it. And he seems to be fiddling with his gear, as Orline will stay in the box with a count of 0-1 against him. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Again, game 1 of the playoffs. And Linares brings a pitch that will be fouled off by Orline as he falls behind in the count. 0-2. So Linares has done a very nice job so far this inning, getting 2 quick outs. So the third pitch of the at-bat coming here. Orline looking to stay alive in the count. And he will swing at that one a little bit late on the swing, but he does manage to foul it off to stay alive.
I think after this, the 3A's in Milroy. I think after this, I think just the first round is.
And the pitch is now coming, and he's gonna hit a fly ball out to left field, and that's gonna lean or spin foul out there, just left of the left field foul line. So Orline will jog back to the batter's box as he remains down in the count 0-2. Linares has not thrown much balls this inning at all in terms of pitches and actual balls. And here's the pitch. That's going to be outside. Clearly a ball to Sam Hoffer as the count goes to now 1-2. This pitch offered by Lenar is going to be hit hard towards center field by Orline. Center fielder looking to track the ball, and he does get underneath it. Looked like he didn't have a good read on it initially, but then he did recover and made the play. So the Dogs not able to score any of that inning. The first time today they haven't scored in an inning. And they remain up 6-0 as Dale Linares came back in and pitched solid. So all the Dogs will hustle up back to their positions in the field as they always do. And I would have to guess that Grant Ludwig's going to remain on the mound. And yes, he will. Ludwig's been pitching great today. Several strikeouts. Not a lot of base runners. Again, we did get a bit of a late start today due to my partners not being present at first, but we figured that for all you viewers who aren't able to make the game, might as well try anyways. And with me in the 3 o'clock game, as we assume the Dogs are going to come away with a win here, will be either Jacob or Josiah, or maybe even both. We'll see. So now with number 16 coming up to the plate to lead off the Braves in this inning. And he's gonna hit that one foul. He pulled that one hard, way ahead of the pitch.
Ludwig continues to pitch for the Bulldogs into the 5th inning now, and as you mentioned,
So this is the first baseman for the Braves, and Ludwig brings a pitch. That's going to be just outside for a called ball. And now the count will be 1-1. In the beginning of the 5th inning, he's going to hit a liner out towards center field as Sam Orline comes in hard and makes the grab. Didn't have to die for that one. We've seen him make a few remarkable plays this year out in center. But one of his good qualities as a center fielder is he manages to read the ball so well right off the bat. And now number 11 for the Braves will step up to the plate.
Drops it anyway. In there.
So that last ball was hit foul. As the press box is getting very busy in here today. All right. So the count is now 2-1 to number 11. And he hits that one over to second baseman Sam Hoffer. Hoffer tracks it and scoops it up and throws the first for the second out of the inning. Nice play, Sam Hoffer. Basically a vacuum machine there in second all year long, not allowing anything to get past him, knocking down pretty much every ball hit his way.
Nobody on here for the Braves, top of the 5th.
So, Grant Ludwig stands
matchup, Paynesville, and
ready at the mound as number 12 steps up to the plate, and he fires away, and that's going to be called ball just high. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
Following us is
So the count is now 1-0.
Morris, I believe, Monty.
And that's going to be a strike. As Ludwig brings him right down the pipe. Ludwig's been a great pitcher all season long for the Dogs. Hasn't lost a game. And there's a shot to left second baseman, Sam Hoffer again. And he gets the one hop, throws the first, and that'll be the third out of the inning. So the Dogs go on the defensive side of the ball. Shut him out again for the 5th inning today. And they remain up 6-0, heading to the bottom of the 5th inning now. As it looks like Dan Lenars is going to retake his position on the mound again. And he pitched very solidly last inning for the Braves, allowing 0 runs for the first time today. Dogs this season are 14-3. Again, they got the 1 seed going into the playoffs. These Benson Braves are the 8 seed. And going into the playoffs, they actually did win their last couple games, from what I heard at least. So definitely not an awful ball club by any means. They can hold their own. But today the Dogs have just been on top of them all game long. Grant Ludwig will lead off this inning for the Dogs at the plate.
Well, at least it sounds like they're hitting some hits.
Again, the Dogs did have a shot actually at the Central Minnesota Conference, and that was about a week and a half ago, and they lost to Maple Lake. If they would have beat them one of the 2 games of the doubleheader, then they would have claimed the first conference title ever for the Central Minnesota Conference for Paynesville. However, they did lose both of them, but they rebounded strongly against New London, beating them 7-4, and then they beat number 3 ranked team in the state, Foley, just this week. And this pitch to Ludwig is going to be inside for ball 1. Second pitch on its way now. And he's going to take a swing at that one now toward right field is the ball. And right fielder manages to get underneath it and make the catch. Didn't have to move much at all. That was a very solid hit, but unfortunately it was hit right to an outfielder. And now bringing up to the plate will be Zach Osendorf, the biggest catcher in the conference for sure. And Osendorf will watch the first pitch, bounce in the dirt for a ball.
First pitch is low in the dirt to him, as I have a feeling if he gets a hold of it.
Second pitch is going to be on its way here soon, and that's going to be outside.
Of course, this is kind of power on power.
And Osnorf has already had a home run this year, looking to add to that with another. He also had a home run last year, one of the two that was hit all year last year, I believe. And he tees off on that one towards center field. Center field is not going to be able to get there in time, as there's a nice base hit single by Zach Osendorf. Getting one out now.
We now have 7, and we'll have a courtesy runner for the catcher.
And it looks like
Whoever that is.
Grady Fuchs is going to step in for Zach Osendorf at first base as a courtesy runner. Grady Fuchs.
Grady Fuchs.
Yeah.
Now batting.
Grady Fuchs.
Okay.
Shortstop, number 2, Luke Johnson.
Luke Johnson now.
And now batting is Luke Johnson.
First pitch to him is high for a ball, 1-0.
So with Grady Fuchs as a courtesy runner on first, he's going to take a good-sized lead there.
One out.
And now batting is Luke Johnson. Johnson's had a base hit, a double actually today.
Low for a ball, 2-0.
And he's going to take that ball for another called ball. And now the count is 2-0 to Johnson. The runner on first base, and only one out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And he's going to be going. This is Grady Fuchs. Now, throw is high, and he's there just in time. That throw would have been placed a little better. It would have been much closer play. But Grady Fuchs shows off his speed there as he steals a base. His dad, Coach Fuchs, had a stolen base record, I believe, here at Paynesville. And that's going to be a called strike, as the count is now 3-1 to Johnson.
Pretty common. Even if you're better, here's a 3-0 count, I think.
And here's the pitch to Johnson. And he's going to tee off on that one. That's going to be out towards center field. Another base hit there. And Grady Fuchs is around in third. He's going to come home. And we're going to have a play at home, and it's not going to be there, actually. So Grady Fuchs runs around third, steps on home, and that's a 7th run for the Dogs in this game. Clutch hit by Luke Johnson.
And by my math, that's batting 1,000.
So Luke Johnson has a couple hits today. I believe he's got an on base every time.
Number 5, Levi.
And now up to bat is Levi Bass.
Lead over there from first, and he throws over.
And there's a throwback to first by pitcher Dan Lenars. Not there in time.
I think this is kind of just an earmark day for baseball. As the weather feels like baseball.
And that pitch to Levi Bass is low for a ball. Count is 1-0 to Bass. As the Dogs with that run by Grady Fuchs off the hit from Luke Johnson's bat now lead 7-0 over the Benson Braves in the bottom of the 5th inning. This will be a 7-inning game. And that's going to be low for another ball, making the count 2-0.
And then, too, when I was watching that, too, can be the top seed.
Johnson kind of trying to get in that pitcher's head maybe over there at first, being pretty active with his leads.
He was very relaxed, and that really makes a difference as well. Next pitch.
And that pitch is going to be right down the pipe for a strike as Levi just watches that one go by.
7-0 Bulldogs in the lead. The top-seeded Bulldogs showing why so far as good pitching and a fair share of hitting. And
Johnson gets a lead. Throw back to first, not there in time.
Is Johnson.
As Dan Lenars seems very occupied
In that first inning, the Bulldogs
with Johnson at first, who is not phased at all, taking another good-sized lead. Here's the pitch going home, and Levi rips that one right to second baseman. An opportunity for a double play here for the Braves, but Bass is there by probably a step, maybe a step and a half. Uses his speed to avoid the double play there. So now there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning as Ryan Wisted will step up to the plate, DH. Stepping in to hit for Jared Campbell.
Back for the Bulldogs.
Ryan not often gets a start in the field. However, he has been designated hitting for the past probably at least half the season now. So Levi Bass now on first. Gets a good-sized lead. Count was 1-0 to Wisted. Here's the next pitch, and that's going to be high, making the count 2-0.
The years when you start to see some of the the former students, former athletes come back to these games, and so a number of them in again here for the Braves today. There's a pitch right now.
And that's going to be a called strike right down the pipe as Wisted takes that one. Count was now 2-1 to Wisted. As Bass remains on first, surprised he hasn't been given the steal sign yet. This catcher does have a good arm. We've seen that. And there's a swing and a miss from Wisted as that'll be the second strike of the at-bat.
High fastball swing and miss.
Wisted, a batter who tends to lean a lot on his back foot. He's got a big swing. When he does make contact, it usually good things happen. And here's the pitch, and that's going to be low in the dirt as Levi is at second, standing. No throw from the catcher. So the count now full, and Levi Bass at second base. He's going to go now as well. And Ryan Wisted manages to pop fly that one out. That's going to be out of play, just barely. His first baseman trips on the berm a little bit, nearly headbutted the cement.
But that ball bounced in that little area that you talked about. The guy in the green hat there should have actually fielded it.
So good, good attempt there by the first baseman. Good hustle, as that ball was just barely out of play. Actually bounced off the cement. So if he would have gotten there, it would have been deemed an out.
No, I did not.
So now Ryan Wisted stays alive. Again, the count is full. Levi Bass will go. And he follows that one off again. Same direction out towards the football field this time.
That's about down the 10-yard line, I think. Just looking around, everyone just enjoying the weather, enjoying the game here. And more to follow.
So again, count remains full. 2 outs now. And that's going to be inside, and he draws a walk. Great at bat from Ryan Wisted. Designated hitters, you don't always see him fighting so well and drawing walks, but he did that time. Great job, Ryan. And now Matthew Leeser will come up to the plate. Another good hitter for the Dogs, as the Dogs now have runners on first and second with a lot of speed on second. So a hit to the outfield is certainly going to score one here.
Gophers looking for a sure lock in the college playoffs, but
and the first pitch to Leeser is going to be called a strike right down the pipe.
That first regional game, so that would be nice for the Gophers. Right.
Second pitch coming in, and Leeser's going to take a hack at that one. That's going to be foul ball, and third baseman makes the grab, it looks like. Nope, he did not manage to make the catch.
Hunter Mondor does make the play, but he's in that.
Okay, so he was just across the line, so he did make the catch, but it was out of play. So the out does not count.
Played with an 0-2 count.
Did not have a good angle at that one.
Runners on first and second. Bottom of the fifth here, the Bulldogs on top 7-0.
So now Leeser has fallen behind in the count, 0-2.
For more, Dan Lenar's back for his second assignment on the mound today.
And the pitch of the at-bat is coming in here. That's going to be high and outside for a ball. Count's now 1-2 as the catcher throws to second base, and looks like the second baseman isn't quite ready for it, as Levi will easily get to third base and Ryan will easily get to second base, both standing. So now runners on second and third. Another miscue by the Braves.
A couple errors.
And any hit now will certainly score one. Again, the Dogs lead 7-0 in this first game of the playoffs. Leeser awaiting the pitch. And that's going to be high for a ball. The count is now 2-2. 2 straight balls now from Lenars.
2-2 the count, 2 outs, couple runners on second and third.
Hit count, Bulldogs have 8. Braves have 1, along with 2 errors. And he rips that one way ahead of it, though. That's going to be pulled foul.
Call that the Bermuda. It's not a triangle, is it, like a trapezoid? We'll call it the Bermuda trapezoid.
Gophers didn't play us. They beat Illinois, and then they'll play the winner.
So Leeser managing to stay alive here, as he was all over that ball. However, he'd pull it foul.
They haven't lost yet, so
and he's looking to straighten it out here.
Michigan, Ohio State today sometime. So
again, very solid hitter all season long. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a swing and a miss from Leeser, as that was an off-speed pitch, and it fooled him just a bit as he swung over it.
Bulldogs.
And the Bulldogs did have a couple in scoring position, but didn't manage to capitalize too much. However, Grady Fuchs did score to begin the inning, and the Dogs now lead 7-0 going into the top of the 6th inning. So with 2 innings to play, the Dogs are looking good. Had to clean off some spider webs from in front of the camera there, so sorry about that. Good thing it was between innings. I just happened to notice that. Hopefully it hasn't been there the whole time. I guess this press box isn't bug proof. Well, leading off for the Braves this inning is number 14.
Meantime, Sam Lunderbrook has to play for the Braves. As mentioned, the Braves are going to need some base runners right off the bat. Gotta get some guys on before they can score. Is that what they say? Or that kind of known, I guess, right?
And Sam's going to take a big cut at that one. Lunderbeck, I believe is his last name.
By the way, I should mention the Braves did pick up their 2nd win of the year.
Ludwig again working very quickly. Here comes the next pitch, and he's going to be pulled that one right toward Matthew Leeser. Matthew Leeser scoops it up, throws the first with a nice throw, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Again, Grant Ludwig throwing minimal pitches. Very impressive day by him so far.
It was 9-8 or something like that, I thought I saw.
Number 5.
So now for the Braves is number 5, Jared Knudsen, the catcher for the Braves. And he's going to put down a bunt. That's a good spot, as Ludwig scoops it up and runs the first and gets the out. He tracked that ball down and actually sprinted right in front of the runner, who ended up tripping up and falling. But he does manage to get to the bag before the runner, and that'll be called an out.
1 seed playing the 7 seed, and Purdue will play the 4 seed.
Great hustle by Grant Ludwig, as Jerry Campbell was playing very deep, and it was a very well-placed bunt by Knudsen.
And then the winner would move on. Wolfers still have a couple of lose too.
So now it's bat number 6, Matt Goosen.
Baseline tried to fool Bulldogs, but
Goosen, one of the few Braves who's gotten on base today with a hit. Actually, he has their only hit of the game, I believe.
And then Jared did pick up the tackle on the play from behind. It kind of looked like a football play over there. He ran into Ludwig, but he's out. So 2
So the count is now 1-1 to Goosen. And that ball is outside and high for ball number 2, making the count 2-1.
Maybe even the first pitch. I'm not sure.
Getting 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning.
That's the Braves trying to get another runner on.
As the Bulldogs are 4 outs away from advancing to the second round of the playoffs.
2-2.
And with that last pitch called strike, the count is now 2-2 to Goosen.
Wow, but can't we predict?
And that pitch is outside, so the count is full.
Who do they play? You know?
Ludwig facing his 2nd full count of the day,
Head coach,
to my knowledge.
Eric Kaufman? Perhaps. Okay. Thanks,
Here comes the pitch. And that's going to be called strike 3. And he is rung up looking as the Dogs get out of another inning. Yet again allowing no base runners, no runs. Still leading 7-0 going into the bottom of the 6th.
I know Tuesday or Thursday, the softball team and baseball team will be playing, and we will have whatever we can.
Looks like Dan Lenar is going to retake his position at third base instead of the mound. And number 2 is going to head back out to the mound. Number 2, Hunter Monger, did pitch earlier today in the 2nd inning and 3rd inning, I believe. For sure the 2nd inning. Yep, 2nd and 3rd inning, and he allowed 3 runs. So Hunter Monger's allowed 3, and Dan Lenars has allowed 4. Looks like they're going to decide to go with Hunter Monger this inning. Who knows, maybe they'll come back with Dan Lenars the last inning. So it looks like the Benson Braves coach is discussing with the umpire possibly that last play, last inning, where catcher Jared Knudsen puts down a bunt down the first base line, and Grant Ludwig went and tracked it down and actually ran right in front of him ended up tripping Knutson, but he stepped on the bag for the out. Maybe arguing for some kind of interference. I believe the right call was made, though. Leading off this inning for the Dogs will be number 8, Shea Olmside. So the Dogs are looking to get in some subs, it looks like, as Andrew Went is on deck. Shea and Andrew, two guys who don't often get to hit, but when they do, they have managed to get a couple balls in play, and they've done a nice job this year.
That's what athletes hit lately, as it seems. Well, in the meantime, who do we have here for the Bulldogs? Okay.
So Shea, I believe, will then go in at left field for Zach Schrader. Shea settles in, pitch from Hunter Monger pending, and he will offer it to the plate now. And it looks like that's going to be called low ball to Shea, so good eye, Shea. The count is now 1-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning, 0 outs. Olmside leading off the inning for the Dogs. He's going to take a cut at that one. That's going to be popped very high. All the infielders are kind of coming in towards the pitcher, and the pitcher does not manage to make the catch, and Shea Olmside gets to first base on an E1. So error on the pitcher there as the whole entire infield collapsed in, and they were all looking for the ball. Looks like they all may have lost it at some point or another because no one really called for it, and the ball just dropped in between all of them.
Now batting, number 11, Andrew Went.
So Shea takes a very conservative lead there at first. Andrew Went steps in at the plate. We've seen Andrew get a hit here this year. At least one. We haven't been at all the games. But to my knowledge, at least one hit. He's done a nice job when he's given the opportunity. And here's the pitch coming home, and he swings, and that's going to be fouled off straight back. So he's on Hunter Monger. Count is now 1-1 to Went. Throw back to first. Shea is there standing as he only had to take 1.5 steps.
Put a runner on at least every inning other than the 4th. So they went 1, 2, 3. Dan Lenard's first inning back. Here's the pitch.
And Andrew hits that one. That's going to be a gapper in between there. Oh, the second baseman actually comes over and stops it, but he muffs it. It was kind of a low, slow bouncer towards the general area of between the first and second baseman. And ultimately, there's going to be an E4 on that play. So 2 errors in a row by the Braves. And that'll be I think they have 4 errors now on the day, as we now have Eric Johnson stepping in up to the plate. Another substitute for the Dogs, brother of Luke Johnson, actually twin brother of Luke Johnson. So Andrew Went with a lead at first, Shea with a lead at second. Luke Johnson take the first pitch for a ball low, making the count 1-0.
Nobody out here, and the first pitch is a ball. Johnson.
Getting 0 outs here. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dogs looking to tack on a couple more runs here to end the game.
Back at second, brings it to the plate. There's a high.
And it's going to be popped up high. Catcher's going to look to make a play, and it's going to hit the top of the grandstand.
The press box, and I think that's the first time I've heard that all year.
So we followed that one back, and the count is now 1-1 to Eric Johnson.
You're not ready for the goal. Well, this is certainly a bigger press box, a bigger area than the Mets, and that's for sure. Here's a lineup,
and he rips that one straight away center field. Center fielder coming in, and he does not make the catch. So now all of a sudden, they're kind of in a predicament as he throws it in toward third. Shea Olmside was on his way back to second, expecting a catch, and the outfielder, after dropping the ball, fired it to third for the force out, getting Shea trapped in a unfortunate position, I guess. And now it looks like Carter Wessel is up to the plate, and yet another sub, 4th straight substitution for the Dogs. Carter Wessel actually pitched a couple games ago for the Dogs, pitched very well.
Carter Wessel.
Against New London, I believe is when he pitched. And he hits a rocket opposite field out to left fielder, who comes in and scoops it up. And Andrew Wendt is trucking in home, and he's going to score standing up. Great hustle, Andrew Wendt there. And it looked like Carter Wessel got a little bit greedy rounding first base and nearly got picked off on a throw back there. So now Andrew Wendt scored. Great hustle, Andrew. Eric Johnson's now on third base, and we have runners on first and third with number 21, Caden Spanier, up to bat. Now, I don't know what size jersey that is. It might even be a medium, but any medium on Caden looks pretty baggy. Kid with not an ounce of fat on him. So the Dogs now lead 8-0 over the Benson Braves with 9 hits. Bats have been very active to say the least today. Just one out in the inning. So Carter Wessel takes a good sized lead. Throw back to first base. Not there in time as Wessel makes a nice dive straight away.
Now the Bulldogs have scored in every inning other than the fourth.
So now, after that pitch, the catcher actually threw back to first in an attempt to pick off Wessel. Wessel was ready for it, however. He got back promptly. And now Caden Spaniel will await the second pitch of the at-bat to him as he's behind 0-1, and he hits a rocket out towards center field. That might drop, and it does. Center field not able to come in fast enough, and another run will score as the substitutes for Paynesville continue to bring in runs and bring in hits, I guess. Just a testament to the depth of this team, really. I mean, the JV team had a great season, only losing a couple games, and now bringing up these players into the lineup, and they're just delivering again and again. So now Max Widener will step in. Max is a total utility player for the JV team, playing wherever he was needed, and he takes the first pitch for a foul.
Over the dugout, or no? It comes down, must have just caught the net. As the count will go to 0-1 on left-handed batter.
So Max trails in the count, 0-1. That pitch is in the dirt for a ball. Throw back to second is nearly there in time. However, it did bounce, and the second baseman was not able to corral the ball immediately. So Carter Wessel continues to grab the attention of both the pitcher and the catcher, I guess. Caden Spanier at first, takes a good-sized lead. Max Widener settles in at the plate, and he's going to hit another base hit up the middle. And Carter Wessel's rounding, and he's going to come in home, and this is going to be a close play. And the catcher does get the ball in his glove, but when he went to make the take, the ball squirted out, and Carter Wessel will score for the 10th run of the game, third of this inning. And this game is now over as the 10-run rule is implemented. So the Dogs with a very impressive first round of the playoffs performance here today, as they came out to an early 3-0 lead in the first inning, and then managed to score in every inning since then except for the fourth inning. And here we stand in the sixth inning, and the Dogs win this game 10-0 with 11 hits and 0 errors. Very clean game, played defensively and offensively. So they will be up again, playing at 3 o'clock, awaiting the winner of the next game. And I will see you then. So tune in if you're not able to make it to that game. And go Dogs.